Have you ever stared at the ceiling at 2 a.m., replaying old moments like a movie you can't shut off, and wondered whether she's secretly hoping you'll break no contact first? Not because she's sure she wants you back, but because she wants to feel that pull again. The proof that you're still within reach. Your mind spins. Is she checking her phone right now? Is she waiting for your name to light up her screen? Is she missing you, or has she already moved on? That question, painful, uncertain, humiliating sometimes, is also your biggest opening. Because uncertainty is where you take your power back. Imagine this. Instead of begging the silence to stop, you become the silence. You become so emotionally disciplined, so steady inside yourself, that your absence speaks louder than any paragraph you could send. That's the heart of Stoicism. Mastering your inner weather so completely that you're no longer a hostage to impulse, nostalgia, or the hunger for reassurance. If you're building that kind of control, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Stoic Legacy now, because the man you're becoming isn't built by motivation. He's built by repetition, discipline, and a mindset you can return to every time the old urge tries to drag you back. Here's the brutal truth most men don't want to face. When she walked away, she expected you to chase. She expected the late-night message, the "I miss you," the emotional confession that hands her the steering wheel. She counted on the predictable collapse, on you cracking under the weight of missing her. But when you don't reach out, when you hold the line, you flip the entire dynamic. You send a message without words. My peace is not negotiable. My value is not rented out for a reply. So today, we're going step by step through the path of Stoic discipline during no contact. Not mind games, mastery, not manipulation, self-respect. You'll learn why silence works, why emotional weakness is a trap, and how real detachment changes the way people feel your presence. And before we go deeper, do this. Comment one moment in your life when you wanted to chase, but didn't. Or simply type, "I'm the man." Let's begin. 1. The power of silence. Stoic discipline. Most men misunderstand silence. They treat it like defeat, like they're losing because they're not talking. But silence, when chosen on purpose, is not surrender. It's a decision. It's restraint. It's a man refusing to let his emotions drive the car. Your silence right now is louder than anything you could say. Because when you stop reaching out, you're doing something rare. You're showing self-command. You're proving that your worth isn't dependent on her attention, and your stability isn't dependent on her mood. You step off the emotional roller coaster she expected you to ride, and that alone is a form of quiet authority that people can feel. Stoic thinkers understood this. They didn't preach emotional numbness. They taught emotional leadership. The idea is simple. Don't waste your life arguing about who you should be. Become that man. Silence is where that happens. Not in speeches, not in explanations, in discipline. Psychologically, silence creates 3 things that restart attraction: mystery, uncertainty, and space. Humans hate unanswered questions. When you stop feeding the storyline, her mind fills the gap. She starts wondering what you're thinking, what you're doing, whether you're moving on, whether you've stopped caring. And the moment she can't predict you, she can't control how she feels about you. Every day you stay silent, you're sharpening a blade most people never develop. Self-control. Your calm doesn't just protect you, it changes the way you're perceived. And that's why silence isn't weak. It's power under control. 2. The trap of emotional weakness. Now let's talk about the hidden trap. The illusion that breaking no contact will heal you. In your mind, one text feels like medicine. One call feels like relief. You think, if I just explain myself, if I just say the right thing, she'll understand. But the hard reality is this. The moment you break no contact from desperation, you hand your power away. Because it isn't the words she hears, it's the energy behind them. Loneliness has a scent. Anxiety has a tone. Neediness shows up even when you try to hide it. And when you reach out to soothe your pain, you're not choosing. You're reacting. You're not leading yourself. You're being led by the ache. Stoicism warns about this in a brutal way. No one is truly free if he can't command himself. When you reach out impulsively, You're proving that your emotional state belongs to someone else. And in relationships, that's the fastest way to shrink in someone's eyes, not because vulnerability is wrong, but because dependence is heavy. It turns love into pressure, and pressure kills attraction. Here's what changes everything. Strength isn't loud. Strength is not cracking when the pressure hits. Strength is not begging for a response to feel alive again. When you refuse to break, you're not being stubborn. You're being sovereign. You're telling your mind, I can handle discomfort without selling my dignity for temporary relief. And the moment you understand that, you stop chasing ghosts. You stop losing sleep over someone who chose to leave. You start building a life that doesn't pause to wait for a notification. 3. What happens in her mind when you stay silent? Now pull the curtain back and look at what your silence actually triggers. Your no contact isn't just a boundary, it's a psychological shock. Because she left with a picture of you in her mind. Predictable, reachable, emotionally available on demand. She expected your absence to be temporary, like a door she could open whenever she wanted reassurance. But the longer you stay quiet, the more your absence grows teeth. Scarcity changes value. What's easy to access becomes ordinary. What becomes uncertain starts to feel important. Your silence turns you into a question she can't answer, and unanswered questions create obsession more often than grand speeches ever do. Her mind begins to wander. She replays memories. She rechecks old messages. She wonders why you're not doing what she expected. Is he moving on? Did he find peace without me? Was I wrong about how much I mattered? And that internal tension between what she believed and what she's now seeing creates discomfort. The key is this: the less reactive you are, the more powerful you appear. Not because you're cold, but because you're stable. You're demonstrating emotional maturity. You're not trying to win, you're trying to live. And ironically, that's what makes you feel more valuable. 4. The Stoics' revenge, emotional invincibility. Let's talk about revenge, but not the childish version. Not the make her jealous version. Stoic revenge is different. It's becoming a man she can no longer hurt. Most people call it strength when someone stays angry for months. But anger is still attachment. It's still her living rent-free in your chest. Emotional invincibility is when the storm can't move you anymore. You feel what you feel, but you don't obey it. You don't let heartbreak turn you into a beggar, a stalker, a comedian performing for validation, or a prisoner of old memories. She expected you to crumble because most men do. They collapse, they chase, they negotiate their dignity away in installments. But when you choose Stoicism, something terrifying happens for the person who left. They lose their grip on your emotions, and people respect what they cannot control. This is why self-sufficiency is magnetic. When you're not trying to be chosen, you become harder to replace. When you're not asking for permission to be okay, your presence gains weight. That doesn't mean you win her back. It means you win yourself back. And once you do, you stop needing revenge at all. 5. The art of indifference, mastering your emotions. Indifference is misunderstood. People think it means being bitter, acting cold, pretending you don't care. That's not indifference. That's a costume. True indifference is freedom. It's the moment your happiness stops being held hostage by another person's decisions. Genuine indifference means this: whether she returns or not, you remain you. You don't collapse. You don't inflate. You don't chase. You don't punish. You simply continue, grounded, disciplined, focused. Here's why it's so powerful psychologically. Humans crave validation most intensely from the source that withholds it. When you become truly indifferent, not performing, not faking, your approval stops being automatic. Your attention becomes valuable because it is no longer guaranteed. The dynamic flips without you doing anything dramatic. And more importantly, indifference protects you from your own imagination. The mind is a talented liar. It can create worst-case stories and replay them until you feel wounded by something that isn't even happening. Stoic discipline pulls you back to reality. You only suffer in proportion to the meaning you assign. So instead of feeding obsession, you redirect energy into purpose. You rebuild your routine. You train your body. You sharpen your skills. you reclaim your mission. If this is resonating with you, take a second and tap like. Quiet support matters, and it helps more men find this message when they need it most. 6. How to make her question her decision, the Stoic way. Now let's get practical. How does this Stoic shift make her second-guess leaving? It happens because your transformation breaks her original narrative. She walked away believing you would stay emotionally dependent, easy to read, and stuck in place. That belief gave her comfort. It made leaving feel safe. But when you evolve, when you stop chasing and start building, her reasons start to wobble. Not because you proved anything to her, but because you became unfamiliar. You became the version of you she didn't predict. Human psychology has a quiet fear, misjudging someone's value. When your silence is paired with visible growth, calm, confidence, new focus, she starts wondering whether she underestimated you. She begins asking questions that sting. Did I leave someone rare? Why didn't I see his strength? Is he becoming the man I thought he could never be? Stoicism teaches you to release external validation. You can't control her choices, but you can control your response. And when your life no longer revolves around her attention, you become intriguing. Not because you're playing a role, but because you're living from the inside out. Here's the secret. You don't try to make her regret. You become a man worth regretting. That's not arrogance. It's standards. 7. Emotional freedom. Breaking your own chains. Let's be brutally honest. The greatest victory is not getting her back. It's getting yourself back. Every time you waited for a text, every time you checked your phone like it was a heartbeat monitor, every time you reached out to calm your anxiety, you were handing over ownership of your peace. That's a chain. And the scariest part is that we often lock it ourselves. Stoic freedom is not getting what you want. It's not being ruled by wanting. When you can feel desire without obeying it, you become free. When you can miss someone without begging them, you become powerful. When you can be alone without shrinking, you become dangerous in the best way. And people sense that. They sense when you are no longer emotionally dependent. They sense when you can walk away without collapsing. That's why your freedom becomes attractive. It's not about her. It's about the energy you radiate when your self-respect is intact. 8. The reality check. What she may really be thinking. Now, a reality check. She may be hoping you'll crack first. She might be checking her phone, replaying the relationship, waiting for a message that tells her she still has influence. But understand this. Even if she wants you to reach out, it's often not because she's ready to return with love and responsibility. Sometimes it's simply validation, proof that she can still pull your strings. This is where your discipline matters. Your silence forces her to sit with uncertainty. It forces her to confront a new image of you, a man who can withstand loss without begging for relief. And that creates internal conflict. She can't reconcile the version of you she left with the version of you she now imagines. Steady, detached, improving, unshaken. That discomfort grows the longer you remain consistent. Your calm becomes her mirror. Your boundaries become her lesson. But your goal is not to punish her. Your goal is to protect your peace. If she returns, it must be to a man who has standards, not a man who has desperation. And if she doesn't return, you still win, because you didn't abandon yourself. 9. The ultimate Stoic discipline, becoming irresistible by letting go. Now we arrive at the paradox. The more you cling, the more you push away. The more you chase, the smaller you feel. But the moment you genuinely let go, of her, of the outcome, of the fantasy that one message will save you, something powerful happens. You become lighter, clearer, stronger. Real detachment is not a performance. It's a mental decision you repeat until it becomes your nature. I release what I cannot control. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, your thoughts change. Your self-respect returns. Your energy shifts from pleading to building. And that's when you become magnetic, not because you're trying to be, but because people are drawn to those who are complete within themselves. Independence has a gravity. Emotional maturity has a weight. A man who is no longer begging for validation becomes rare. At this stage, she may wonder if you're truly gone. She may sense that you're beyond reach now, and that can awaken regret. But here's the twist. By the time you truly master letting go, you no longer need her regret to feel whole. You don't need her return to feel valuable. You have something stronger, your own approval. Otro, your new beginning. You've reached the end of this message, but this is not an ending. It's a reset. You now understand the truth. Your greatest strength is emotional discipline, not the discipline that turns you cold, but the discipline that turns you stable. The kind that allows you to feel deeply without being controlled. Attraction doesn't thrive in chasing, begging, or breaking boundaries. It thrives in uncertainty, independence, and self-respect. So don't return to old habits. Don't trade your dignity for temporary comfort. Stand firm. Build your life. Let your silence be an act of self-love, not punishment. If you're ready to live this for real, comment, "My silence is my strength," or type, "I'm the master of my fate." And if you want more guidance like this, more Stoic discipline, more emotional control, more clarity, subscribe to Stoic Legacy right now and stay with us. Before you go, hit like to support the channel and to support your future self. And remember, the best revenge is always self-improvement, and the strongest attraction is freedom.